Winning the lottery is only the first battle. The second one starts the moment the world finds out. Because there is an entire ecosystem of people, and even entire companies, that exist for one purpose: to separate lottery winners from their money. Some of them are outright con artists. Some of them are perfectly legal businesses that will strip a fortune down to nothing while smiling at you across a desk. And the winners on this list didn't lose their money to Ferraris or bad friends. It was taken from them deliberately by people who came looking. These are the lottery winners who were scammed out of everything. Stay until number one, because the woman who talked her way into his fortune didn't stop at his money. Number 6, the flood. The instant your name becomes public, you are placed on a list. Not officially, but effectively. Because scammers know exactly who just came into money, and they move fast. Winners describe being buried within days. Phone calls, letters, emails, strangers appearing with can't-miss investments, and business opportunities that just need a little funding. Some of it is crude fraud. Some of it is polished, with brochures and offices and men in good suits. And here's what makes it so effective. A brand new winner has no experience telling the difference, and no team around them yet to say no. The scammers aren't waiting for you to make a mistake. They're already lined up before you've even claimed the money. And some of them don't need to break a single law. Number 5, Suzanne Mullins. Suzanne won a share of a $4.2 million jackpot in Virginia, and she chose to take her winnings as an annuity, spread out over years. It should have been the safe choice, but then life happened, family medical bills piled up, and she needed cash faster than her yearly payments arrived. So she did what a lot of winners in that position do. She borrowed against her future payments from a company that specializes in exactly that. And that's where it unraveled. The terms buried her. When the arrangement collapsed, she ended up owing enormous sums she couldn't repay, tangled in litigation, and left with essentially nothing from a multi-million-dollar jackpot. She never gambled it away. She borrowed against her own winnings, and the fine print did the rest. Number 4, Billy Bob Harrell Jr. In 1997, Billy Bob Harrell Jr. won $31 million in Texas, and by every account, he was a genuinely generous man. He gave to his family, he gave to his church, he bought homes and cars for people he loved, and the requests never stopped coming. Under mounting pressure, he was persuaded to sell off portions of his future annuity payments for a lump sum at terms that gave him a fraction of what those payments were actually worth. The fortune shrank, the pressure grew, and his life came apart. Less than 2 years after the biggest win of his life, Billy Bob Harrell Jr. died. He reportedly told a financial advisor that winning the lottery was the worst thing that ever happened to him. And the industry that pressured him is still perfectly legal today. Number 3, the buyout industry. This is the one almost nobody talks about because there's nothing criminal about it. There is an entire business built on approaching people who receive long-term payments, lottery winners included, and offering them a single lump of cash today in exchange for all their future payments. It sounds helpful. Sometimes it genuinely is. But the exchange rate can be brutal, and winners have handed over decades of guaranteed income for a fraction of its real value because the cash was in front of them and the future felt far away. These companies advertise. They call. They know exactly who's receiving annuity payments and exactly when someone is desperate. No laws are broken. The fortune simply evaporates, legally one signature at a time. But some predators are far less subtle. Number 2, Jack Whitaker. Jack won $315 million, and he was already a wealthy man before the win, which makes what followed even more striking. He became a target in every possible sense. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were stolen straight out of his car. Not once, but twice. including a briefcase holding an enormous amount of cash. He was besieged by lawsuits, by people claiming he owed them, by schemes and demands from every direction. He later said he had been sued and taken advantage of more times than he could count. Money attracted people to him the way blood attracts sharks, and eventually the fortune and much of what mattered in his life was gone. He said in the end that he wished he had torn up the ticket. But the most chilling case on this list is a woman who didn't just take a man's money. Number 1, Abraham Shakespeare. Abraham won $30 million in Florida in 2006. A former laborer, he was endlessly generous and endlessly hounded by everyone who wanted a piece. He once told his brother he would have been better off broke, that he thought all these people were his friends. And then a woman named Doris Moore entered his life. She presented herself as someone who wanted to help, to protect him, to manage the money and keep the vultures away. She told people she was writing a book about how he was being taken advantage of. Instead, she methodically took control of his assets, his accounts, and his property. And when the fortune was hers, Abraham disappeared. For months afterward, she sent text messages from his phone pretending to be him, telling his family he was fine. It was almost a year before his body was found buried under a concrete slab in a backyard. Doris Moore was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. The con artist who promised to protect him from predators turned out to be the most dangerous one of all. So look at what connects every single one of them. Not one of these people was reckless with their money. They were targeted by strangers, by companies, by someone who smiled and offered to help. Because a lottery winner is not just a person with money. They are a person with money and no experience defending it. And the people who do this for a living know that better than anyone. This is exactly why every winner who survived did the same two things. They stayed anonymous for as long as the law allowed. And they built a real team of professionals around themselves before they ever said yes to anyone. So here's my question for you. If someone showed up tomorrow with a perfect opportunity, would you actually be able to spot it? Tell me in the comments. And if you believe your win is on its way, subscribe to the Jackpot Oracle and start getting ready for it now. Because we believe the universe rewards the ones who are prepared to protect what they are given. See you in the next one.